Hey everyone, Scott here, going Beneath the Planet of the Apes, starring James Franciscus, Kim Hunter, Maurice Evans, Linda Harrison, and Charlton Heston, directed by Ted Post. I remember this movie being strange before I put the disc in, because I have seen this movie before, so let's see if I can get into how strange it is. We pick up minutes right after the first Planet of the Apes ends. Is kind of a bold but weird choice for the movie, because it just picks up after the first movie, or kind of clips of the end of the first movie. We get introduced to a new astronaut character named Brant. Now, he's definitely no Taylor in this movie, which I had a feeling because Charlton Heston didn't show up on set in that much, except for when he feels like it. That's the way how he is, I guess. The scene with Taylor trying to get Nova from the last movie, who doesn't speak at all, by the way, to say her name versus Taylor's name, was a little stupid for a 1-minute scene. When the wall of fire shows up out of the blue, doesn't make sense at all whatsoever. Taylor disappearing out of the blue doesn't make any sense either. Where did he go? When Cornelius, played by not Roddy McDowall this time, and Zira, played, I'm not sure who the actor who plays Cornelius this time is, and Zira, played by Kim Hunter, are at a guerrilla meeting, and Zira doesn't agree with the guerrillas to go to war with the gorillas, going against an army of humans, which I'll get to at the end. The apes saying no humans should be treated the same way as apes, and Zira doesn't stand and applaud at the end of the meeting, which, can I say, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and the fact that Dr. Zaius comes to their house and yells at Zira, I get the impression Brant and Nova find them before Dr. Zaius ever get to the house, and after the meeting with the gorillas, they make up the story while Dr. Zaius visits them, and Cornelius says, and Zira make up the story that Cornelius hid Zira. Is that an excuse for a story to make up? Because that's an old trick in the book. It's actually foolish. The chasing of humans by the apes felt much staged in this movie. The cave where it becomes a New York train station is again much staged. The peace in Freedom Apes, before apes end up going to find Brant and Nova and keeping things the way they are with Dr. Zaius, is a little bit dumb, and to quote Zira, it's time for a change, you know? It's also kind of obvious based on what we see in the next movie. The noises in the background are an odd thing to do in this or any movie in general. It just sounds bizarre. The weird thing is the latter is the one making that noise, and they also hurt your ears and give you a headache after a while. Even the fountain turning itself on is very bizarre. When Brant hears voices in his head and puts Nova in the water, was very mental illness as he screams, "Get out of my head!" was a weird moment in the film. The men dressed as priests and watching a screen on the wall as they're about to see Brant go, I thought to myself, what the hell is this movie supposed to be? Because this isn't Planet of the Apes at all. Am I the only one that thinks this movie doesn't make any sense? And like, I said the noises hurt your head and ears and it gave you a headache. It almost gave me a headache as well. As they make Brant try to hurt Nova by kissing and choking her out is really... Why do they have powers to make someone like Brant hurt a woman like Nova? The scarecrows were the hanging apes. I thought, wow, I really freaking hate this film. I asked myself, how could you make one of my favorite trilogies or movies turn into garbage? Like the Star Wars prequels, which I'll get to later this year. This succeeded first. This again isn't a Planet of the Apes film. What it is just a horror religious movie where the religious people are evil, and there's very little apes in this movie. When they pull off their masks, I thought, this is a nightmare, the priests' masks, because they look like humans mixed with monsters. The fight between Brant and Taylor, because the religious monsters forced them to, is so freaking painful, it's ridiculous. When Nova screams, Taylor! Just to say his name was very painful. The apes taking down the rocket is kind of a stupid move because by the end, they're all dead. Now, time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 2.8 out of 10. This is bad for a Planet of the Apes film. It makes no sense. It drove me nuts. I kept looking at the clock. I really didn't like this movie that much. And Fox should be ashamed of this movie. Next week, I will escape from the Planet of the Apes. Until next time, I'd like to kiss you goodbye. But you're just so damn ugly, like Charlton Heston said in the first film.